I'm going to read Goodnight Gorilla by Peggy Rathmann. Goodnight, Gorilla. Oh, look at the silly gorilla. Is he getting the keys from the zookeeper? What's he going to do? Uh-oh. The gorilla got out of his cage. I don't think the zookeeper noticed that the gorilla got out of his cage. And look at the mouse carrying the banana. What's the gorilla gonna do with the keys? Good night, elephant. Uh-oh. Is the gorilla gonna let the elephant out of its cage? There's the elephant. Good night, lion. Oh, the gorilla is gonna let the lion out of its cage. Good night, hyena. Good night, giraffe. The gorilla is letting the giraffe and the hyena out of their cages too. Good night, armadillo. Oh, look, the giraffe and the lion and the elephant and the gorilla are all out of their cages. Is the gorilla gonna let the armadillo out of its cage too? There's the zookeeper going into his house, and he's being followed by the mouse and the gorilla and the elephant and the lion and the hyena and the giraffe and the armadillo. Oh boy, and now they're all in the zookeeper's house. Look at the giraffe in the house. And now the gorilla is on the bed. The lion is laying on the floor, and there's the elephant. Do you see the giraffe? And there's the hyena and the armadillo cuddled up on the floor at the end of the bed. And the zookeeper's wife says, "Good night, dear." Everybody's going to sleep. And all the animals say good night. How does the lion say good night? How does the elephant say good night? The elephant says, and the zookeeper's wife opens her eyes really big. Oh, what is going on? What are all these animals doing in my house? She turns on the light, and there's the gorilla sleeping next to her in the bed. And she says, "Come on, gorilla, everybody back to the zoo." So she takes the gorilla and the elephant and the lion and the hyena and the giraffe and the mouse and the armadillo, and she takes them all back to the zoo. And then she goes back to her house and says, "Good night, zoo." But the gorilla is still following her. Did the gorilla get out of his cage again? Silly gorilla. And there's the mouse behind the gorilla. And the zookeeper's wife says, "Good night, dear." And the zookeeper says, "Good night." And there's the gorilla getting under the covers. And there's the mouse next to him. I don't think the zookeeper's wife is noticing this, do you? And now the zookeeper and the zookeeper's wife are asleep in bed. And the mouse says, "Good night, gorilla." But the gorilla is already asleep. And the gorilla says, he's fast asleep. Good night, gorilla.